Hello and welcome to IMHO. Today I'm speaking to Arnout Hellemans about the impact of AI in search. Arno's energy and enthusiasm are infectious, and he is absolutely one of my most favourite people to speak to. So I'm going to get straight into it and throw over to you, Arno. In your opinion, Arno, what do you think about the integration of AI in search and the launch of ChatGPT search? How will they impact the industry, and where do you think this is all going?
Where do I think it's all going? Right. I think we are on the verge of a big shift, right? And I feel that a lot of the answers you get, I force myself to use these answer engines, right? Like ChatGPT search, but also AI overviews and like loads of others, just ChatGPT itself and others. And what I find is that I'm often amazed by the quality of what comes back, even though it's not always fully helpful, or I'm doubting whether it's actually true, some things, but the majority is just really good. And if you think about it, it's actually a way better way of interacting with an answer machine than clicking links, right? Um, so I actually think we are on the verge of something big happening, but there's massive complications as well that I foresee. Um, for one, Google needs to reinvent itself, right? Because um, they were aiming for double-digit growth by just adding more ads, adding more ads, adding more ads, right? And with these LLM-generated answers, it's very hard to monetize through ads, right? So I think that's what they're struggling for. But at the same time, I see so many things that are better done without a search, right? Summarizing things. I'm really impressed with the way Brave does it with their search engine, right? Because you look up a product and then say reviews, and then you get these links, and then you click the AI thing that just gives you a TLDR with all the pros and cons in the reviews. You don't need to read all the reviews, right? And if these kind of things are already happening, the age of actually having these links is just disappearing. However, I think there's another shift happening. Um, and that is that Google is now gearing up to close in on their biggest competitor ever, which has always been Amazon, right? And I could foresee a future where your Google account with your Google Wallet, with your, is just linked to everything. And it's just in the SERP, you buy things. Um, so that's one of the big implications I'm seeing, because
Mm.
if you have less ads to sell on AI overviews, you need to find it somewhere else. And this is
Yeah.
the Google shopping feed, right? So I think that's a massive one. One of my biggest drivers of being in SEO and optimizing is making better experiences for users.
Hmm.
Yet I see so many SEOs just focusing on, I need more links, I need more traffic, I need more. And I'm like, do you?
Mm.
Because traffic doesn't pay the bills. And I've always said this, it's actual conversions that pay the bills. So should we be looking about in terms of how do you optimize a website? Not purely for getting the traffic, but helping the people convert, helping them to, if you help them, they will help you,
Hmm.
right? So I think we'll get into an age of that more and more. Like, it's not about traffic, it's not about, I recently was talking to a company that lost a lot of traffic in the core update, and they were doing these online games, right?
Mm.
Um, and I tried playing one of those games, and within 10 seconds, there was an ad, a full screen ad. I had to click away. And like, if you're creating such a frustrating experience, do you then, should you be there? No, right? So that, and then at the same time, with the lawsuit that the DOJ has done against Google, I think that can be massively impactful.
Mm.
Because and this has been shown in multiple leaks that Google is looking at user signals, and with the current market share of Chrome, it is like that is massive for them, right?
Mm.
That is absolutely massive for them. So what if the browser becomes a commodity? It becomes um, uh, like almost like an interstate. The browser is the interstate, right? And nobody should own that. That should be like the browser, right? And what is currently happening is Google is locking us into this. You need to log into your browser. You need to log in with that same account into YouTube, into search. They basically want to know everything about you. They want you to log into Google Maps. So they need all of that data. What if that just becomes cut off? So really interesting times. Do I know where it's heading? No. I just know that there's so many different elements in here, which I think will be uh, game changers. And I truly believe we'll never get back into the old age of SEO, right? It's more about experience optimization and trying to, well, maybe truly deliver the best experience ever. And I think that's also, I think Google could have done with all the technology and all the research that they could have launched something like ChatGPT even earlier than OpenAI. But they didn't because they knew it would heavily impact their bottom line. And then they were forced to do it because people were flocking to ChatGPT. And and this happens with, like, there's so many alternatives now. And it's interesting to see, all right, because if say TikTok comes out with search trends or whatever, then you suddenly see more videos appearing in the SERP. Google is trying to battle all of these different ways, but my children, most of their knowledge is being gathered on freaking TikTok. It is, right? And this is the new generation. So and to be fair, who likes clicking blue links, not expecting or getting bad results? And Google search has become a lot worse lately. Back in the days, it would just look at a full sentence, give me the best answer, done, right?
Mm.
It's not there anymore. So it makes perfect sense that people are looking for better alternatives. And I don't blame them. So
Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that about better alternatives. I mean, we're speaking at the moment, and ChatGPT search launched, was it last week? I think
yeah.
it would seem that the whole interface of how people are going to interface with search is changing rapidly. As you said, a lot of the younger Gen Z and Gen Alpha are now gathering information from TikTok, which is being hugely influential. And again, that's quite a different style of searching and learning as to what
It's
we did
very
before.
interesting, right? Because the biggest spikes in Google Trends now are actually TikTok trends. This is bizarre, right? So if you have a solution to a problem that nobody's searching for, what you need to do is hype it in YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. That's the way to generate search volume, which is
Mm.
bizarre if you think about it, right?
With the launch of ChatGPT search, what do
Yeah,
you think? How much do you think that'll take away market share from Google, and how much do you think that's going to impact?
100%. 100%. Um, However, I think the the Pro and Perplexity, right, which is also a search engine, and the Brave search engine, I think they will all start nibbling parts of. I think the how do you call it, the good thing for Google is that most of these searches will be informational, right? So it won't immediately eat into their ad revenue. However, when you move slightly further, so from informational more into comparison, like then it's only a small step to actually doing the purchase through these platforms as well, right? So in the beginning, I don't see, well, I think we'll see a market share drop, right? Which is in the current light of the lawsuit might be good for Google, right? But there's actually a big shift. So people aren't looking for those links. They just want answers and they want validated answers, right? And I think one of the main reasons that I think Google is pretty far in having a similar experience. They just really don't want to roll it out because of shareholder value, right? So it's just interesting what those first numbers will say, because if they lose 10%, then they really need to. But if they lose, say, a few percent, 5% to Bing with Copilot and everything, and it's just, but the revenue, the ad revenue will still go up, which I expect it will, because of the CPC prices rising and everything. Yeah, it's as I said, it's interesting times, and I can't see the direct effect. We'll just have to see. But if I look at the younger generation, there's a massive shift. They basically they even don't really use Google Maps anymore, right? It's Snapchat. This is like we can't imagine.
Oh no, it's been fantastic speaking to you. Thank you very much for offering your humble opinion. It is greatly appreciated. And as always,
Pleasure.
fantastic to speak to you. Thanks, Arno.
Thank you. Cheers.